A ball is dropped from a height of 10 feet, and the return bounce is 80% of the previous height. How far has the ball traveled when it hits the ground for the third time? What about the fourth time? Round your answer to the nearest tenth of a foot. Okay, so let's think about this. A ball is dropped from a height of 10 feet. So a ball is dropped like this for 10 feet, and then it hits the ground. And when it hits the ground, it's going to bounce up. And then it's going to come down, and it'll hit the ground again for a second bounce. And as soon as it hits the ground again, it'll bounce up. But this one needs to be less because it's each time 80% of the previous height. So this is what's going to happen. That would be bounce 3, and then one more for bounce 4. Okay, so let's label this here. This is first bounce. This would be the second bounce. This is the third. Now, it falls 10 feet. So if it falls 10 feet, let's talk about what the heights are. So here's the ground. And let me go back to my coloring here. Let me hit the, make sure this actually hits the ground there. And now, to get this labeled right, if this is 10 feet there, then the next bounce would be 80%. So if this is 10 feet, right here, let me get an axis to try to explain this a little bit better. Okay, if this is 10 feet right here, then the next bounce is 80% of 10. Now, 10 feet times 80% is 8 feet. So that means this height right here, if we draw it over, would be 8 feet. Okay, and then you continue on. 8 feet times 80% is going to be 6.4 feet. And you could do this in the calculator, but I'm just doing it. So right here, if you went across, let me erase this purple here, this would be 6.4 feet. And we would do it one more time to find this value here. So 6.4 times 80%. I'm going to go over the calculator and figure out what that value is. And I'll just prove to you on the other ones that I was accurate when I was saying. So it would be 10 times 80, and the percent button, remember, is down next to the G over here. 10 times 80% is 8 feet, and then we would say 8 times 80%, and this is the 6.4. And then we would do it again, 6.4 times 80%, and we get 5.12. So this right here would be 5.12 feet. Okay, so now we can add up our height. So how far does the ball travel when it hits the ground for the third time? I'll call that A sub n. We'll count by bounces. So A sub 1 equals 10 feet. A sub 2 is going to equal 10 plus, now the ball goes up 8 and down 8. So I'm going to be adding 10 plus 8 plus 8, which is 26 feet. Now, how did I get that? It goes up 8 and down 8. So I'll mark that here. This is the ball going up 8. This is the ball going down 8. The previous bounce, it only went down. So now I go to A sub 3. A sub 3 would equal that 26 plus the ball goes up 6.4 and down 6.4. So again, this is up on the third bounce, or right before the third bounce, this is down. I'll just put D in there for down. And so when we add this up, this would be 12.8. So we add 12.8 to that, and I get 38.8. So the third bounce equals 38.8 feet. And now the fourth bounce would equal 38.8 plus this 5.2. It goes up 5.12 rather, and down 5.12. So this is 10.24. If we add 10.24 to that, we get, instead of 48, it'll be 49.04. So the fourth bounce, when we round to the nearest tenth, like it says, will be 49 feet. And that's our answer there.